Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Wisconsin.
Big crowd filing in on a Friday night. Beautiful night for baseball in Milwaukee, and the Dodgers are in town. And two-thirds of the all-star starting outfield, Carlos Gomez and Yasiel Puig, both inside Miller Park tonight. And we're getting ready for a three-game series with the first-place Dodgers. And hi, everybody, we welcome you from Miller Park. Great to have you with us tonight alongside Bill Schroeder. I'm Brian Anderson. Sophia Minard, our reporter this evening. The first-place Dodgers come to town. It'll be the first trip for Yasiel Puig inside Miller Park. And, Rock, this is a ball club that is rolling right now. They've won 3 in a row. They've won 5 consecutive road games. They have a ton of talent in their lineup, but they bring the great pitching as well.
Yeah, the best earned run average of any starting rotation in the National League, 3.17. They've got 3 guys with double digits in wins, and the Brewers are going to face 2 of them. You got Hernandez tonight. He's making his first start with the Dodgers after a trade with the Phillies. He's already pitched against the Brewers already this year in a win. Zach Greinke's going to go tomorrow, and then Clayton Kershaw, perhaps one of the best pitchers in the game right now. Certainly the best left-hander in the game. Coming against Kyle Lohse here today, coming off his worst start as a Milwaukee Brewer his last time out. Only 4 innings and 9 runs against the Cardinals. That was in St. Louis, but Kyle Lohse has a way of turning things around very quickly. He's going to have to be good here tonight.
Well, as Rock mentioned, Roberto Hernandez making his first start. He pitched very well against the Brew Crew in Milwaukee right before the All-Star break. Jerry Augustine will join forces with Sophia, and they'll talk about how to attack Hernandez tonight.
online only at southwest.com. Two of the best teams in the National League on display here at Miller Park this weekend as the Brewers welcome the Dodgers here to Miller Park for their first matchup of the season. And the Brewers offense will look to keep things going against a pair of Cy Young Award winners. Clayton Kershaw will get the start on Sunday. He already has one no-hitter under his belt this season. And former Brewer Zach Greinke will get the start here tomorrow night. And the Brewers offense, while it has been good lately, Ron Renneke said the approach may be a little bit different when you're facing two of the league's best.
When you think the run total is going to be down, or if you think a team has a lights-out bullpen, say they've got their setup and closer just lights out, well, you try to win that game in 7 innings.
Jerry, the Brewers anticipated seeing starter Josh Beckett here tonight, but instead they will see the newly acquired Roberto Hernandez, who they saw in July when he was with the Phillies, and 8 very strong innings for him, giving up just 1 run. How does the Brewers offense keep it going against him?
Well, he's a sinker ball pitcher. They're going to keep being aggressive, no question, but they have to be a little bit more patient and selective at the plate. Secondly, they got to make him get the ball up. Get the ball up, work the count, and use all fields to hit in. And lastly, score early. When you have him on the mound and you can apply pressure, he gets out of his comfort zone. When he gets in his comfort zone, he can be very tough. So score early, apply the pressure.
Well, the Brewers look to keep it going here against Roberto Hernandez, and they will send Kyle Loach to the mound. Can he bounce back from a 2-game skid? We have first pitch between the Brewers and the Dodgers coming up next here at Miller Park.
The roof is wide open, got the panels open as well. State fair going on, and the Brewers and the Dodgers going at it. 2 first-place teams matching up at Miller Park. The Brewers up a game on the Cardinals. Meanwhile, the Los Angeles Dodgers, having won 3 out of 4 from the Angels, they now have a 3.5-game lead over the San Francisco Giants. And there is Don Mattingly, skipper of the Dodgers in his 4th year. And looked to be like his job might be on the line early last year, but it's anything but now. He's done a great job with this club. Associated Bank batting order for the Dodgers. D. Gordon leads off. Yasiel Puig and Adrian Gonzalez. Middle of the order is Hanley Ramirez, the red-hot Matt Kemp, Carl Crawford in left, and then the bottom 3 for Mattingly, Juan Uribe, Drew Butera, and Roberto Hernandez on the mound. That's the batting order that will face Kyle Lohse, and Rockies looking for a bounce back here tonight.
Yeah, rough one against the Cardinals in St. Louis. Gave up 7 earned runs in 4 innings. Very unusual for Lohse. But he had a very good month of July, a 3.03 earned run average in 5 starts, although he only posted a 2-3 record, making career start number 10 against the LA Dodgers here tonight.
Now the Brewers coming off a series win against the Giants, the Dodgers Western Division rival, as Lohse deals his first pitch. A little bit low and away we go from Miller Park. And in a lineup full of all-stars, it was Dee Gordon who emerged as an all-star this season for the Dodgers. Shortstop turned second baseman. And a pop-up. That is Elian Herrera getting the start at short here tonight for Segura. And 1 away, and that's how the night begins for Kyle Lohse.
Well, let's check out the Brewers as they line up defensively. Had a very good defensive series against the Giants where they won 2 out of 3. Right before the Dodgers came in. Defense brought to you by Menards. Parra gets to start out in left field. No Chris Davis tonight. Herrera in place of Segura, and Maldonado gets to start behind home plate. Jonathan Lucroy nursing a hamstring issue.
Joe West will call the balls and strikes. He's the crew chief. Marty Foster, John Tumpain, and Rob Drake on the bases. And here is Yasiel Puig, and I know a lot of Brewers fans are interested to see this player. Yasiel Puig making his Miller Park debut, having a great year. All-star starter in the outfield with Gomez this season.
Man, Puig got called up right after the Dodgers left Miller Park last year, or very soon after. So no Puig here at Miller Park last year. Very dynamic, a difference maker in that lineup.
Puig with 13 home runs, 55 driven in, and has moved to center field recently. That National League All-Star outfield about as dynamic as it gets in baseball, with Carlos Gomez, Yasiel Puig, reigning MVP in the National League, Andrew McCutchen. And now all 3 are center fielders now that Puig has moved into center. Dodgers got in very late, or let's call it early this morning. They played a night game in Anaheim last night. Did not arrive into Milwaukee until 6:30 a.m. this morning. They canceled their pregame batting practice session, just had a little light infield work. As a matter of fact, Don Mattingly had Andre Ethier taking some ground balls at first base today. So we'll see how beat up the Dodgers are here tonight for this opening game of a 3-game series.
Yep, just a show and go, and not a whole lot going on for the Dodgers until game time today.
There's a swing and a miss, and Lohse strikes out Puig. 2 up, 2 down, and Kyle Lohse picks up his first K.
Yep, steady diet of off-speed pitches. Finally gets him on a fastball. The 2-seamer stayed up in the strike zone, and Puig right underneath of it. Bat a little bit slow, as you might think, early on here. Not a whole lot of sleep for the Dodgers last night.
Now Lohse will face Adrian Gonzalez with 2 away. Let's talk injuries and bring in Sophia, who has an update on Lucroy and Segura, both out of the lineup tonight.
Well, Ron Renick's saying that they just want to be cautious with Jonathan Lucroy and that hamstring issue. It was something he felt yesterday on a play scoring from first base. Just wasn't quite right after that, so they're giving him a day off. And same with Gene Segura. The quad is much better, but just being cautious with him. Also looking to get more lefties in the lineup. So Parra and left, Jeanette at second, and the switch hitter Herrera and Overbay at first.
Yeah, that's a good reason with the sinker baller Roberto Hernandez on the mound here tonight. Segura will watch as Herrera plays. Herrera, a former Dodger, and you know he would love to shine bright. And he's a switch hitter, but a much better hitter as a lefty. Adrian Gonzalez, he's going along well. Gonzalez with 15 homers, 74 driven in. He is second in the National League in RBIs, trailing only Giancarlo Stanton of the Marlins, who has 76 ribbies. Lohse deals a 1-2, and Gonzalez fouls it away. Batting average is a little bit low by Adrian Gonzalez standards, hitting at .259, but the power numbers are there. A slugging average of .432, which is a touchdown compared to what he's been in his career. Slick fielding first baseman.
Yeah, Dodgers can score some runs. They're 4th in the National League in runs scored. 3rd in batting average, although they don't hit many home runs. I think Dodger Stadium has a lot to do with that. 12th most in home runs, so they score runs in a little bit different ways. But they do have a potent lineup when these guys are swinging the bats.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Gonzalez into left field, slicing. Parra's on the run. That ball's deep, and it is off the top of the wall. Will stay in play, and Gonzalez is in with a double. Boy, that missed a home run by inches.
Taking that pitch to the opposite field, double number 29 for Adrian Gonzalez. A high fastball, and that thing slicing as it gets out there, and didn't miss a home run by too much. Right off the corner of the top of the fence out there in right, or in left field, I should say. Boy, that ball carried well. Everything opened up here at Miller Park tonight. Roof, glass panels. Ball should get a bit of a push tonight.
Impressive that Gonzalez was able to keep that ball fair. And Don Mattingly wants to come out and maybe just check with the crew chief. It's not a play you would challenge because it falls under the original replay jurisdiction of a boundary call.
It was very fortunate that that ball didn't hit the top of the wall and bounced over, missed by a couple of inches.
If it hits the yellow line, it's in play. I think that's probably what Mattingly asked. It's got to go out and stay out to be a home run. So a runner at second with 2 away. Here's Hanley Ramirez, and he's hacking away at the first pitch. Ramirez at .277, 12 homers, 58 driven in. Has been a Brewer killer throughout his career, whether it was with the Marlins or with the Dodgers. A .367 lifetime hitter against Milwaukee.
This guy can hit, no doubt. One of 4 Dodgers with double-digit home run totals so far this year. About as good as it gets when you go 1 all the way down to 6 in that batting order. You're talking about all-stars up and down that batting order.
And there's Matt Kemp due up next. And he is the hottest of them all right now. Ball and a strike. Gonzalez at second. Just underway at Miller Park, and a swing and a miss. And Hanley Ramirez does not look comfortable at the plate. Something's going on with him.
Yeah, a little off balance. First 2 swings tonight.
Looks like he's maybe trying to stretch his back out a little bit. Was wincing after that first swing and miss. Maldonado putting down the signs tonight for Loesch. And a 1-2 on the way. This is down and away. Now the Brewers start today with a 1-game lead over St. Louis. Cardinals are getting roughed up early tonight in Baltimore. Justin Masterson has allowed 5 runs through the first 3 innings. It's 5-0 Baltimore in the top of the 4th. There's a fastball that missed, not by much. And it goes to 3-2 now.
Yeah, doing just what he did to Puig. A couple of sliders off the outside corner, then try to get him on a fastball in. And boy, that didn't miss by much. That could have been rung up.
Well, pitch number 20 of the inning. The Dodgers, pretty patient ball club. Very good hitting ball club. And Ramirez draws the walk. So with 2 outs, the Dodgers get a double and a walk. And now 2 on for one of the best hitters in the game right now, and Matt Kemp, who is the reigning National League Player of the Week.
Yeah, finally healthy again. It's taken him a while to get healthy. Had a tremendous 2011 campaign, shoulder issue, but he's back and swinging a bat.
A left shoulder and an ankle problem for Matt Kemp. But those who have followed him every day say he is running as well as he ever has. He's starting to look like the Matt Kemp that the Dodgers remember in 2011 when he finished second in the MVP voting to Ryan Braun. Since the All-Star break, Kemp leads the National League in slugging percentage, leads the National League in home runs, and he's second in RBIs. He's got 16 runs batted in his last 19 games. Comes in with 51 for the year on 14 home runs.
And does a lot of damage into right center field. You got to be careful when you pitch him away. You got to make sure it's down in the strike zone. This Dodger club, as you mentioned, very patient at the plate. They've drawn the second most walks in the National League, but on the flip side of that, they don't strike out much. So they put the ball in play. Emphasis will be on the defense in this series for the Brewers.
2 gone in the inning. 2 on for the Dodgers, and Kemp into center field. Gomez will ease over, routine for him, and that'll do it for the Dodgers in the first. Off and running at Miller Park. Now the Brew Crew coming up against Hernandez. Something bothering him, and he is out of the game. Don Mattingly sitting him down, and that is Miguel Rojas taking over before the Dodgers get to the field for the first time. Ramirez exits after a walk. Here are the Brewers tonight, turned in by Ron Renicky. Associated Bank lineup: Gomez, Parra, Braun at the top. You got Ramirez, Jeanette, and Overbay in the middle. Maldonado, Herrera, and Loesch rounding it out. Roberto Hernandez, and his first start as a Dodger, just traded yesterday.
Yeah, for a couple of players to be named later. Yeah, by the Philadelphia Phillies. You can see his numbers as a member of the Phillies. Yeah, 387 earned run average. He beat the Brewers back on July 9th, about a month ago. Gave up only 1 run in 8 innings, threw well. Only needed 84 pitches to do it. A guy that throws a lot of strikes. Got to be careful with the off speed out of the strike zone with this young guy.
Carlos Gomez leads off, and first pitch swing fouls it back off the mask of Drew Butera. A.J. Ellis is with the ball club, their everyday catcher. He's been nursing a little knee injury and not in the lineup tonight. Expecting him back tomorrow. Gomez into center field. Yasiel Puig is there, and 1 gone in the Brewer first inning.
Check out the Menards defense for the LA Dodgers. The Dodgers Around the middle of the pack defensively, a .985 fielding percentage. They committed 67 errors, the same number of errors as the Brewers have committed. And Drew Butera gets a start, has not made an error. And you can see 376 total chances. That's pretty good defense.
He's been playing a lot here lately as well. Hanley Ramirez in the original starting lineup. His day is over. Gerardo Parra. He's had a lot of battles with the Los Angeles Dodgers throughout his career, competing in the National League West with the Diamondbacks, and has been a part of some of those Diamondbacks-Dodgers brawls. Reaches down, serves one into center field. Puig coming in, can't get there. Base hit. So Gerardo Parra with a single with one away, and the Brewers put Hernandez in the stretch early.
Well, right off the end of the bat, that two-seam tailing fastball that Hernandez features. Got a lot of movement, doesn't throw very hard. Parra stayed right on it, got enough of it to dump it into center field.
Well, Parra rewarded with some playing time tonight, trying to stack as many lefties as possible. Parra hit what would be a game-winning home run earlier on this homestand against the Giants. That was on Tuesday. So he's at first for Ryan Braun. Braun had an RBI yesterday. You heard Sophia give the report on Lucroy and a little tightness in his hamstring. It was on that batted ball by Braun. Lucroy scoring from first. Braun with his 66th run batted in on that double into right center.
If that was in the first inning, Lucroy would be able to continue the rest of the way. And got to be careful with those hamstrings, those leg injuries, and they can get nothing but worse if you don't rest them. We'll see how long Lucroy is going to be out.
Now Braun is currently 7th in the league in RBIs with 66. Only 3 National Leaguers that have entered into the 70s in runs batted in: Stanton, Adrian Gonzalez, and Ryan Howard. And Braun is knocking at the door. 14 home runs for Braun. He feels like he's swinging the bat pretty well. He has not gotten a lot of hits here lately, but he's been pleased with his at-bats. Trying not to fall too much into the results. Ultimately you have to, but in the small sample sizes, Braun does have a lot of line drive outs.
Yeah, there's a big difference between not getting hits and being in a slump. I mean, Ryan had a couple of tough at bats yesterday against Jake Peavy, but other than that, he's been solid, swinging the bat well, barreling it up, particularly in the last road trip.
And Braun lines out into left center. Puig over to cut it off. Parra's going to test his arm. Here comes a throw. It's late, and Braun goes into second.
Nice. I'm not sure why Puig went in that direction. You got to throw that ball into second base. Are they going to give Braun a double? Yeah, Gerardo Parra had third base easily on this base hit. Puig had to go toward left center, and for some reason he hit the cutoff man at short instead of going to second. Ryan Braun saw it and cruised on into second base.
Good base running there. So yeah, for now they'll score it as a double number 26 to go along with his 14 homers. Puig is typically in the spotlight about where he throws the baseball. He makes some great throws, but lately the Dodgers are saying he's been very good hitting the cutoff man, making the right decisions. And while he hit the cutoff man there, it went to the wrong spot. Braun was able to take advantage. So now second and third for Ramirez. Yesterday, Aramis had 2 hits, 2 for 4. Had a couple of RBIs on Wednesday. Continues to swing the bat well. And he pulls out and through the hole, a base hit. Parra's in. Braun will stop around third. And the Brewers strike first. Something that they could not do against Hernandez last month when he was pitching for the Phillies. A first inning run. The Brewers take a 1-0 lead and an RBI for Ramirez.
You always want to be able to work on top, get the early lead against a team like the Dodgers who have been playing so well. Ramirez getting a pitch up in the strike zone, and that's what you have to do against Hernandez. He's got such good move, and that ball starts a little bit above the knees. It's going to sink out of the zone. You got to make him get his pitches early in the count up, and that's what the Brewers have done so far.
Well, Hernandez facing the Brewers for the 4th time in 3 starts against Milwaukee in his career. He has a 2.57 ERA. And none better than his start against Milwaukee in July, the homestand before the All-Star break. Scooter Gennett at the plate, takes a strike. Scooter comes in at 307. Doesn't have enough plate appearances to be among league leaders right now. He's just outside that. You need 3.1 per game. But if Gennett had enough, and he might push over here in the next few days, he would be 7th in the league in batting.
He just has to stay in the lineup. I mean, that quad injury has given him problems in and out of the lineup the last week or so. Brewers need him in there. He's been swinging it well.
Well, he'll be one of 4 left-handed batters. There's actually 3 lefties and 1 switch hitter, but one of 4 to hit off the left side against Hernandez.
And that's the most the Brewers can put in the lineup. Nothing but right-handers on the bench.
It is a predominantly right-handed lineup. Most of their power. It's one of the reasons the Brewers were so aggressive in acquiring Gerardo Parra, trying to give him another left-handed option. 3 consecutive hits. Parra, Braun, and Ramirez. Now Gennett a chance to drive in a run. In the air, center field. Puig winding it up, got a big arm. Braun has great speed. The throw comes home, and Braun is in there. Sac fly and an RBI, and it's 2-0 Milwaukee.
Well, got the job done, did Gennett, on the 1-2 count. And was able to get enough of it. Ryan Braun very fast out there at third base and scores easily. A couple of hops by Puig into the infield. Ball just dies right in front of home plate, or I should say as it bounces in front of the mound. That would have been a highlight reel throw had he been able to make that close. We've seen it before with this guy.
Yeah, he's made a lot of throws this year that end up on the nightly highlight reel. He's some kind of player. Fun to watch. So here's Overbay now. Got Ramirez at first. 2 men are out in the inning. The Brewers have scored twice. Good start tonight for the Brew Crew. Scored a first inning run yesterday as well against the Giants. Never trailed in that game. And a 3-1 victory yesterday.
Another great start by Peralta. Well, they just seem to be one after the other for Willie. He's won 10 of his last 11 decisions. Amazing.
Won his 14th game of the year yesterday, the first to 14 wins in the big leagues. Adam Wainwright later in the night won his 14th, so he and Wainwright tied atop the league. All smiles today. Peralta looking like an ace. Now a 3.42 ERA to go along with that 14-6 record. And maybe most importantly, 9-3 following a Brewers loss. Willie Peralta. One ball, 2 strikes on Overbay. On the ground, had a shift on. That's Gordon out there. And he makes a play to end the inning. Good inning for the Brew Crew. That's the way you get it started. Couple of runs on Roberto Hernandez. Parra started it. Braun with a double. Ramirez and Scooter Gennett with the RBIs. 2-0 Brew Crew as we head to the second. As we head to the second inning, couple of first inning runs for the Crew. Well, tomorrow MLB on Fox Sports 1 returns. It's a doubleheader. You got the Yankees and the Indians, followed by the Cardinals and the Orioles. Coverage beginning tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central. Again, that's on Fox Sports 1, also streaming live on Fox Sports Go. As Carl Crawford leads off for Los Angeles in the second inning. Baltimore up 8-0 on the Cardinals tonight, and a 5-game lead over the Yankees. Yankees are making a run here. Wild card is up for grabs, and the Yankees are trying to put themselves in that picture as well. They've won 6 of their last 10. Back-to-back wins.
And Justin Masterson getting it handed to him tonight in Baltimore. A couple of home runs. Manny Machado and J.J. Hardy. Any more? Those are the 2 I saw.
Let me check on that. It's a good one. That'll be a 3-game series with the Cardinals and the Orioles. You know how you look down and your eyes don't see Orioles Cardinals very often? That's a rare matchup. You know what I mean? Kind of threw me off there for a second. Actually, 2-2 the count to Crawford.
Actually, JJ's got 2 in that game.
He's had another nice year. J.J. Hardy helping his old club. A lot of deep counts for Kyle Loesch early against the Dodgers, throwing a lot of pitches.
They're going to make you work. They walk a lot. They take pitches. They work the count. They're confident in taking pitches because they make contact. Don't strike out much as a team.
Mattingly's club leading the National League in extra base hits. Second doubles. They lead the league in triples. Ground ball off the end of the bat. Scooter Gennett hustles it over to first, and Crawford is retired. First ground ball out for Kyle Loesch.
A good 2-seam fastball right there. Crawford rolled over on it, and easy out at second base. Kyle just wasn't able to locate much in that last start against the St. Louis Cardinals. Got a lot of the plate. Cardinals attacking early on him. Wasn't able to get the breaking pitch down. One of those nights. Looks like he's got much better command so far in this one.
Juan Uribe takes a strike. Well, Uribe hitting .299, has 6 home runs, 35 driven in. Had some big hits for the Dodgers this season. Had a 3-run home run Tuesday against the Angels. Dodgers wrapped up their interleague schedule. They go 11-9 against American League opponents this year. And they took 3 out of 4 from the Angels. And lost the first game against the Angels at Dodger Stadium. That was one of those 2-2 home and home scenarios like the Brewers have with the Twins. So the Dodgers lost the first game. Came back and won the next 3, including a 7-0 win last night behind Hyunjin Ryu last night, whom the Brewers will not see in this series.
Yeah, so the Dodgers taking 2 in Anaheim against the Angels, and just goes to show you how good they've been on the road this year. Dodgers with the best road record in baseball, 36-23.
And they've won 5 in a row on the road. Helps to have horses like that guy, Clayton Kershaw, at the front of that rotation. Brewers are going to get Greinke tomorrow and Kershaw Sunday. 1-2 on Uribe. Liner foul. He's hanging tough, taking a big hack. Well, certainly no secrets with many of these Dodgers hitters, these veteran players, and Kyle Lohse. A lot of at-bats against him. Uribe is 2 for 6 in his career. He's one of the fewer at-bats through this Dodger lineup. That's going to slice into the seats. And Lohse can't shake Juan Uribe. Count remains at a ball and 2 strikes.
Man, not a lot of swings and misses with this Dodger offense. Puig swing and a miss on a strikeout, but these guys put the ball in play. They make contact. They make you work. Wear you down out there on the mound.
Uribe had a double last night, was 1 out of 5 against the Angels. And that didn't miss by much. Asking for a call, and he was able to check it. I love Maldonado's subtle little body language when he requests an appeal. Like he's nodding yes. Subliminally trying to put that in the umpire's mind.
Yeah. You always have to ask. Get some help.
Check him out here. Like, oh, I think he went. Yeah, he did.
Shake your head,
yeah.
Point to the umpire, say, yeah, come on. He did.
He's got great body language back there. And that matters, right? I mean, that means something.
Right. And just keep in mind, you know, the catcher can point. They're going to point that first base or third base umpire, depending on who's up. But the home plate umpire has to ask. I mean, those guys down the line are not going to do anything until the home plate umpire asks if he went.
Well, count goes full now. So Lohse has a little bit of concern going here with the pitch count. He's at 41 already. Normally a guy, when he's right, will breeze through the lineups. He works fast. He gets early results. This is pitch number 11 of the at-bat. 3-2. And Uribe into right center field. Gomez coming in. And he's got it for the out. Finally retires Uribe.
And he got him early 0-2. Uribe just kept fighting off pitches. Hey, this Sunday the Brewers square off against the LA Dodgers. Get your very own chorizo racing sausage bobble courtesy of Clemens Sausage. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
Cerveceros Day here in Milwaukee Sunday. That'll be a lot of fun. Two up, 2 down. Here's Drew Butera, Dodger catcher. And a first pitch curveball for a strike. A.J. Ellis did play yesterday, and he's been back for a week. Missed a few games with a knee injury. Butera into center field. Got a little hook on it, and Gomez is there. And Lohse needed that. A quick out with Butera. 3 up, 3 down, second inning. on a Friday night, and the Brewers up 2-0. Our AT&T U-Verse Rewind, we take you back to last night and want to show some of the skills of Yasiel Puig. How about this play against Josh Hamilton? Probably didn't have enough to go out, but it was certainly enough to get off the wall, maybe a 2-run double. And then a couple of days ago, how about this throw from Puig? This was on Wednesday as he cuts down Hank Conger at third base. So you see the glove work and the great arm of Yasiel Puig, and that's how he can impact a game even when he's not getting his hits.
That's an infielder's release right there. Very quick. A lot of guys are going to wind up with that big delivery into the bases from the outfield, but not Puig. Very quick, and that's why he's able to make throws like that and get outs.
Martin Maldonado in the lineup tonight as Lucroy is nursing a tight hamstring. Maldonado's second start on this homestand. He caught Gallardo against the Giants a couple of days ago. And a pop up into right field. That's Matt Kemp in right, calling. And Puig finally stops.
Had to scream at him. I got it. It's right at me. You love those center fielders like Gomez that feel like they want to catch everything out there, anything that they can get to. But hey, the other guys want to be in the box score. I got it. Get away.
And they do that. Kemp is screaming so loud at Puig. You know, one of the reasons that the Dodgers put Puig in right field when he first came up, because he was obviously a little undisciplined about pop-ups and pop-up priority, and they were afraid he was going to injure some of his teammates, specifically his infielders. So Matt Kemp certainly knows that. Elian Herrera lines one to Kemp. Puig not in the picture, and there is out number 2. Said I could have had that.
I'd like to see a skills competition between Puig and Gomez out there in the outfield.
I'd love to just line them up and let them run like maybe a 60-yard dash just to see. And then what else would you add? Maybe a throwing contest?
Maybe put some hurdles out there. You know, throwing contest, maybe some fly balls up against the wall, see how many they can pull back. 2 electrifying players, Carlos Gomez and Yasiel Puig.
Going to be a fun series to watch with those two.
Yeah,
they're built similarly, similar skills. I think Gomez just now starting to get some of the publicity that he deserves. Puig arrived in Los Angeles, which much fanfare. A Cuban defector. Two balls and a strike on Loesch. 2 outs in the bottom of the second. The Brewers scored twice in the bottom of the first. And a broken bat ranging over is Uribe, and he'll make the play. And that'll be a 3-up, 3-down inning for Hernandez. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Marshfield Clinic. Don't just live, shine. 2-0 Brewers as we head to the third here at Miller Park. First of a 3-game series with the Dodgers. We hope you'll make plans to join us. Got the State Fair going on just up the road in West Allis, right off the interstate. A lot of construction. Don't let that get you down, though. Just take your time. Be patient. Little State Fair Brewer baseball combo. That's how you do a weekend here in Milwaukee right now.
Are you a patient driver?
Oh, very patient.
Oh, yeah?
Absolutely. Except when I'm in Los Angeles. Get a little irritated in that Dodger traffic. It happens, though.
I mean, it's all day long, all night long.
Yeah, it's not really Dodger traffic, is it?
It's just, congestion 24 hours a day.
Dodger pitcher Hernandez at the plate, starting off this third inning. A lot of fun has been poked at Roberto Hernandez, formerly known as Fausto Carmona, and he was traded. The man who changed his name was traded for 2 players to be named later. And he shoves one into right field for a base hit. Just his 3rd hit of the season, and the Dodger pitcher is aboard.
Hey, tonight's Tower of the Game winner, Boathouse Pub and Eatery in Kenosha. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite.
He just came from the Boathouse, as a matter of fact. The skipper.
Yeah. It's a sweet hat.
Both of them. Lead runner on. Here's D. Gordon. Shows bunt and takes a strike. How about the year this guy's having? Been a comeback season for him. Actually spent some time in the minor leagues after he came up as a big prospect shortstop. The son of former big league pitcher Tom Gordon.
51 stolen bases.
That leads the National League.
51 out of 63. That's a pretty good percentage. He's always been fast. He's always been a guy that the Dodgers have thought is going to be an impact player, but now he's starting to get on base, hitting near 300.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Now, D. Gordon's brother, Nick Gordon, was in the headlines earlier this year, a first-round draft pick by the Minnesota Twins. Very talented baseball family. D. Gordon didn't start playing baseball until he was in high school. He was a basketball player. Dodgers drafted him in 2008.
His father's a good pitcher. Starter, closer, worked out of the bullpen, did just about everything. Good curveball. Flash Gordon.
Just goes to show you, though, even the most diehard of Dodger fans would have to admit that they gave up on D. Gordon. He was not playing well, but figured something out as he lines one to left. Very shallow is Parra. He's got it for the out. Well positioned. And the first out of the third inning. Hernandez has to stay put at first. And here's Yasiel Puig now. A strikeout victim his first time up. First ball swinging, a pop-up. Scooter Gennett will make the call and the catch. And Puig is retired. He's 0 for 2.
They got him out in front on the slider, and Puig had a pretty good rip at it, but popped it up. There's a big out.
Keeps the runner at first, and here comes Adrian Gonzalez, who almost hit one out his last time up down the left field line. Hit the top of the wall, hit the yellow padded line out there, and came back in. Right about there.
Not there, right?
And it was a double, and Loesch was able to get out of the inning without a run scoring. Adrian Gonzalez has always swung the bat well here at Miller Park. This is his 22nd career game at Miller Park. He has 20 RBIs and 7 home runs in his first 21 games at Miller Park. Went from the Rangers to the Padres. Became a star with the Padres. Traded to Boston. That did not work out. And he was part of that group along with Beckett. Carl Crawford. Went from Los Angeles, or rather from Boston to Los Angeles. And much more at home out west.
Yep, a career .294 hitter coming into this season.
Well, those are the numbers. Gonzalez, second all-time batting average at Miller Park. Hanley Ramirez is third. He's out of the game. By the way, got an injury update on Ramirez. Right side tightness on the Dodgers shortstop as Gonzalez draws the walk. 2 on, 2 out. And Loesch not messing around with Adrian Gonzalez.
Yeah, and now with Rojas coming up, it might have been a lot different had Hanley Ramirez still been in the lineup. But now you got the utility player, the part-time player in the cleanup spot in the batting order for the Dodgers. That's one of those injuries where if you're Don Mattingly, you just as soon Ramirez tell him before the ball game and say, hey, look, I can't play today, because now his lineup is not anywhere near what he wants it to be. You don't want Rojas hitting in the cleanup spot.
Yep. You can almost see in that expression of Mattingly. Well, Ramirez has been a source of frustration for many teams, including the Dodgers. Out with an injury here tonight, trying to play through it. Got to give him credit for that. I'm sure Mattingly would have loved to have known before then. And it's 0-2 on Miguel Rojas. First at bat of the night. I don't know if Hanley Ramirez injured himself during the at bat against Loesch. Certainly possible. He ended up drawing a walk. You could tell right away his first swing he was wincing.
He probably didn't know that there was anything real serious today because they didn't take batting practice. There wasn't much going on. These guys kind of showed up late, put their uniform on, and started at 7:10. Might have been different had they had the normal pregame routine.
Well, I'm sure Rojas is thrilled to have the playing time here. And he's up at a big spot early. 2 on, 2 out. Loesch stranded 2 in the first inning. He's given up 2 hits and 2 walks thus far. And a slow running pitcher at second base. And a swing and a foul tip into the mid of Maldonado and a strikeout. And Rojas thinks that ball hit the dirt. They might check this one now. Joe West
saying it hit the ground.
He's going to ask the first base umpire, and everybody comes back. And that is a reviewable play. So West just asked his first base umpire before that time, and that'll be a foul ball.
I tell you, pretty close.
You can see the dirt fly. This will be the best look at it here. fouled it, hit the ground. Maldonado in the glove, so that's a good call.
Yeah, good call. They bring him back. You just hope that Loesch isn't out of sync now.
One and two. Wanted the call, didn't get it, and it evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. A lot of pitches early for Loesch. This will be number 65. Only in the 3rd. 2-2. Rojas takes a called strike 3. Down he goes. So Loesch picks up his 2nd strikeout. Brewers are coming up. They lead 2-0 at the top of the order. Gomez will start it when we come back.
Third inning, Zach Greinke will make his return to Miller Park here tomorrow, and the Brewers' wives are doing their mystery big event. Joined now by Melissa Kinsler. Melissa, what will the wives be selling here tomorrow?
Tomorrow we are selling autographed baseballs. They're signed by the 25-man roster, as well as Ron Renicky and Bob Uecker. We'll be stationed around the ballpark. All proceeds will benefit the Next Door Foundation. And please try to get here early because they do sell out. We'll be here as soon as the gates open.
Great. And Janae Estrada, there is a new wrinkle. There is a new offer out there in the mystery bag event.
There's actually 3 golden baseballs. So 3 lucky winners will actually get a chance to have a meet and greet with a player and at a later date.
Sounds good. That mystery bag event, again, benefits the Next Door Foundation and selling for $40 here tomorrow night, Brian.
All right. Thanks a lot, Sophia. Nice go on the Brewers' wives. Always active. Trying to get some big auction item donations out there. They always do a great job. Kudos to them as Carlos Gomez leads off, takes a first pitch strike from Hernandez. Gomez, second plate appearance. He flew out to center field in the first. Has had a nice homestand. Had a leadoff home run against Tim Lincecum. Powerball home run number 17 for Gomez.
And then watch this next one. He hit a bullet, his second home run. Bingo.
Well, that was a no-doubter. That threw all of the restaurant tables out there to the back wall of Miller Park. And Gomez strikes out. So Hernandez has been tough on him tonight. 0 for 2.
Yeah, he's got the slider. He's got the good changeup. He'll throw some changeup to left-handed hitters. Everything moving. good movement on his fastball, but he doesn't have a whole lot of velocity. About 91, maybe 92. Talking to Johnny Nairn before the ball game. The key to his offense tonight is going to be having Hernandez get pitches up in the strike zone early in the count. Get something to hammer.
Well, there was a time when Hernandez was thought of as a potential ace. Was a 19-game winner for the Indians back in 2007. The 3.06 ERA. He and CC Sabathia fronted that starting rotation for the Cleveland Indians. And the Indians traded Sabathia to the Brewers in 08. His contract was running out. Indians were having a bad season, but they were kind of hoping and counting on Hernandez, then known as Fausto Carmona, to be at the front of their rotation as Parra flies out, 2 up and 2 down. Hernandez's identity was revealed last year, and or leading up to last season is probably better stated. It's a long process, picked up a couple of years in age, and then he ended up signing with the Rays and was one of their regular starters for Joe Madden. Got a deal with the Phillies this year, had a 3.87 ERA for the Phillies in 20 starts before being traded to the Dodgers yesterday. And he was the one who broke the news first that he was starting today in Milwaukee. I think there was a lot of speculation that the Dodgers were going to put him in the bullpen. But Josh Beckett, who has thrown a no-hitter this year, is on the disabled list. A hip injury and a groin strain. So
you get a guy that, you know, bona fide winner in the big leagues, he gets hurt, and you pick up a guy that you don't mind having fill in. You don't have some young kid coming out of the minor leagues. This guy's got some pedigree.
It's the outside corner, and it's 1-2 on Braun.
So it is possible to make these deals after the trading deadline. It's a little bit more difficult.
And I don't know this for sure, but I'm guessing part of the deal, the players to be named later that the Dodgers are sending to the Phillies, has a lot to do with how the Dodgers finish up and maybe how Hernandez pitches. As Braun bounces to Uribe, long throw is in time, and that will retire the side. And Hernandez has retired 8 straight after giving up 2 in the first. Brightly up there on a clear night in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and here we go to the Dodger half of the 4th inning. 2-0 Brewers. Our Carsoup.com trivia: which pitcher led the Brewers in appearances in '88 and '89? Taking you back to the late '80s, huh? Which pitcher led the Brewers in appearances?
So, I was there for '88.
Yeah.
'89 was with the Angels.
Shipped you out west. Never to be heard from again.
No.
Except for the last 20 years sitting in that seat. Matt Kemp leads off, takes strike one. Now Loesch has thrown a lot of pitches. He's had a little bit of traffic behind him. 2 hits and 2 walks, but still has a 0 on the board. As Kemp takes a ball away. Kemp's on a home run binge lately. 6 homers since the All-Star break. Matter of fact, 6 homers in his last 10 games. Has 14 for the season. And a wave and a miss. 1-2 the count. There's a lot of talk that the Dodgers might be shopping Matt Kemp. I can't imagine they'd trade him at this point. He's been one of their best hitters. Just goes to show you what injuries can do to a player, even a player as talented as Kemp. When you're not right, had a left shoulder injury, which really affected his swing, and an ankle injury, which affected how he runs, as he rips that one to Herrera. And Kemp is out. 1 gone for Loesch in the 4th.
Hey, Monday, September 8th, it's social media night here at Miller Park. Here on the crew alongside fellow social media junkies. Plus, enjoy a special pregame appearance by the player you elect as the most valuable tweeter. All for just $25. Visit Brewers.com/social media night for tickets. The most valuable tweeter.
Yeah, who you got on that right now? What do you think? How about a little analysis on the most valuable tweeter?
I don't know who tweets. They
Well,
all tweet.
A lot of guys do.
The players.
You tweet. Kyle Loesch tweets occasionally. Jim Henderson's pretty solid at it, right?
You seem to know more about it than me.
There's a base hit by Crawford.
For a guy that doesn't have a Twitter account.
No, I do have one. I just don't tweet. I'm a consumer of.
Maybe you should start
tweets
on September 8th. You can start your tweeting career on social media night.
I'm saving my first ever tweet.
For?
I don't know. I'm waiting for a big offer.
Your last ever broadcast?
Carlos Gomez is a good tweeter. Yeah, I follow all those guys. A lot of Gomez's tweets are in Spanish. Uribe, slow roller, coming in. Ramirez gloves and throws him out. Had some time with Uribe running.
And no chance for Herrera. Had that ball got by Aramis Ramirez, that would have been a base hit for Uribe. Looked like Rami had it in the glove, had a tough time getting it out, but had some time to get him. Uribe doesn't run all that well. Gets him by half a step. Who do you think's the best tweeter on the Brewers?
You know, I don't like to play favorites.
Other than Mike
They're
Vasallo?
kinda, you know, they're kind of like your children. You know, you don't want to. Mike Vasallo is a very strong tweeter. No question.
Well, you have to follow Mike in order to get the lineup for the day.
Yeah, or any updates. Sometimes a little heckling comes through his Twitter page. Wrestling updates.
The Brewers media relations director.
Fly ball, center field. Gomez coming in. Drew Butera is out, and Loesch with a scoreless 4th. 2-0 Brewers. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. Sun is set in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And we head to the bottom of the fourth. Oh, look at that. She's got her glove. It's pink, and it's awesome. She is in the preferred position with her brother, although he's got his glove on too, but she's ready to throw an elbow if need be. I hope she gets a ball.
I'd like to give her one. I have one up here.
You got to figure out where she is.
Yeah.
But you got to send up two, though.
I have two.
Two baseballs.
I've got two.
Okay. Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's above the beer pen.
I don't think I can make it up there.
That's a straw. It's a long throw. As Aramis Ramirez pops this one up to right. Slicing. Kemp on the run. And it hits foul off the padding.
It gave up on it.
I think Kemp thought that was going to be well into the seats. And it ended up maybe staying playable. Kemp has been a center fielder most of his career. That didn't even hit the padding.
No,
that was certainly catchable.
Yeah. I mean, not a lot of room between the foul line and the wall right there, but certainly a play that most outfielders are going to be able to make here at Miller Park. Dodgers aren't used to being here. Of course, Matt Kemp's played a number of years here at Miller Park, but always in center field. You don't have to worry about the wall in center field, at least in foul territory.
Well, it buys Ramirez another shot. Here's a 2-1 in tight. 3 balls and a strike on Aramis. Well, the Orioles are taking it to the St. Louis Cardinals tonight. As Ramirez pops it up, that's going to stay playable. Butera is there to make the catch. And Aramis is retired. First out of the 4th inning. It is now 12-0 Baltimore.
Yeah.
They've hit a ton of home runs. Machado has homered. J.J. Hardy's hit 2. Adam Jones. Chris Davis hit his 20th. Ryan Flaherty has hit 1. They've hit 6 home runs in the game tonight. So a chance for the Brewers to add a game to their division lead. They can hang on to win as Jeanette pops this one up to left. 2 outs.
Hey, the Brewers continue this series against the Dodgers tomorrow at 6 p.m. as the first place clubs face off in a potential postseason preview here at Miller Park. For tickets, call 414-902-4000 or go to brewers.com.
Battle of first place teams, the Dodgers and the Brewers. Only the Dodgers have a better record in the National League than Milwaukee. Lyle Overbay with 2 away. Other first place team in the National League, the Nationals, trailing the Braves tonight 7-4. Overbay trying to get something going with 2 outs. The 1-2, and he got him. A change up by Hernandez. 3 up and 3 down again. Kyle Loesch working on a shutout here through the first 4 innings. Fox Sports supports Special Olympics, and now you can get involved as well. Take the ultimate Lambeau leap on Saturday, August 9th. You can rappel down Lambeau Field to help raise funds for Special Olympics Wisconsin. Plus, stop by the Fox Sports Wisconsin tent. Meet the Fox Sports Wisconsin girls. Visit foxsportswisconsin.com and click on the upcoming events tab for details. Go over the edge in Green Bay. Roberto Hernandez will bat. The Dodger pitcher singled his last time up, and he will start the 5th inning. Joe West is looking at Hernandez's jersey saying, you got to tuck that thing in, man.
They're saying it is.
It is tucked in.
It's just real loose.
That is the least amount of tuck you could possibly have and still keep it tucked in.
You know why they do that, don't you? Make them tuck them in because if they're floppy, you know, like that, a ball could hit it, and that's an extra, what, a couple inches that you get if you get hit by a pitch.
Oh, I thought maybe he forgot his belt.
His belt?
His belt. But your explanation makes much more sense. But he's got a belt on too. Little tapper back to the mound. Loesch has time, and 1 away in the 5th. Well, it's now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's all brought to you by AT&T. One gone, top of the order coming up. Here is D. Gordon, who is 0 for 2. Gordon is 0 for 2. He lined out to left his last time up. Brewers have Gerardo Parra, the left fielder, very shallow in left. Well, tomorrow we're underway an hour earlier than we were tonight. Typical Saturday start time of 6:10 for first pitch. We're on the air at 5:30 for Brewers Live. Mike Fiers will start for Milwaukee against Zach Greinke. Brewers are going to have to make a player move after the game today. Slow roller, got to hurry this one. Ramirez can't get it, and nobody will get there as the speedy Gordon legs out an infield hit.
Loesch getting a fastball, a little chopper. D. Gordon with such good speed that there's no chance for anybody. They got great speed on the bases now for the Dodgers. And then you figure D. Gordon might think about stealing the base.
Yasiel Puig coming up. Maldonado has a great arm behind the plate. D. Gordon is the National League leader in stolen bases with 51. And he takes off, and Puig swings in the air. Overbay has it, got a chance at a double play, throw to first in time. How about that? D. Gordon got lost on the base paths. Puig swings away, and that will end the inning. A head scratcher for Don Mattingly of the Dodgers. Never looked up, never knew. Brewers put a deke on him. Made it look easy. here. The Brewers scored twice in the first inning. Our Southwest Airlines non-stoppable play. Parra had a single, then Braun a double into left center field. That put runners at second and third, and then Aramis Ramirez plated the first run with an RBI single. Next man up was Scooter Gennett, and Gennett with a sac fly scoring Braun. And right now those two runs are standing up tall for Kyle Lohse. Meanwhile, Roberto Hernandez has settled down and has retired 11 straight since that sac fly by Gennett. Maldonado leads off. He'll be followed by Herrera and then Lohse. Oh, and 2 the count on Maldonado. Martin getting to start tonight. Lucroy unable to go with a little tightness in the hamstring, not expected to be serious. And Maldonado strikes out. So the third strikeout for Hernandez.
Yeah, the big sinker, then the slider. And Maldonado swinging a pitch out of the strike zone. This is one guy you can't take the big swing on. And you see the rotation of the pitch and watch it go away from Maldonado as it gets to home plate, going away and down. And you try and pull that pitch, you're not going to have much success.
One away, Elian Herrera, former Dodger, getting a chance to start tonight. Gene Segura dealing with a little tightness in his leg as well in the quad. Neither injury expected to be serious, just a little maintenance day for Segura and Lucroy, according to Ron Renicky. As a matter of fact, we've seen Lucroy between innings when it has called for it. He has been warming up the pitcher as Maldonado has been putting his equipment on, so that's a good sign. He would not be doing that if he was injured and unavailable for days.
Yeah, I think it's precautionary. I mean, you give him a day off. Yeah, maybe you sit him tomorrow. Well, we'll see. You just don't want to mess around with a leg injury like that. Hamstrings, groin pulls, those types of things, and has a tendency to last for a while as Herrera takes strike 3. That's 3 consecutive strikeouts now for Hernandez.
We got Overbay to end the 4th. Maldonado and Herrera go down here in the 5th, and that'll bring up Lohse. Now the Pirates are home tonight against the Padres. They are up 2-1 over San Diego in the bottom of the 8th. It's another score we're watching tonight. Cincinnati is also at home, and they are being shut out right now 2-0 at the hands of the Marlins. Marlins got a great start from a former Dodger, Nathan Eovaldi, who went 8 shutout innings. He was in that Hanley Ramirez deal. And Lohse strikes out. Hernandez strikes out the side and has 4 in a row. 5 in the books, 2-0 Brew Crew.
Lead here in the 6th, and in our Crew in the Community tonight, Beyond the Diamond is a series of community outreach events that will take place each month during the season, with Brewers Community Foundation, players, coaches, Brewers wives, alumni, and team personnel all working in the community. All of these events are funded by the Brewers Community Foundation and focus on the areas of health, education, recreation, and basic needs. And again, that Brewers Wives Mystery Bag event will be tomorrow. All the bags selling for $40 with autographed baseballs in each of them.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Speaking of tomorrow, Mike Fiers is on the mound. What's the latest on Fiers? Has he arrived in Milwaukee yet, Sophia?
He was actually out just around 6 o'clock doing some light throwing with bullpen coach Lee Tunnell, and Ron Renicky talking about Fiers, saying he's back to that pitcher that he showed in 2012 with AAA. He's an 8-5 record, a 2.55 ERA. He's got that deception. The command is back. Mentioned specifically his strikeout to walk ratio, 129 strikeouts, just 17 walks for Fiers this season. So they're looking to see if he can bring that up here to the big leagues for his first start of the season tomorrow.
Looking forward to seeing Mike Fiers again. It'll be the first time all year the Brewers need a starting pitcher outside of their original 5 because of a DL stint, as Adrian Gonzalez sends that one deep to right, and that one is gone. So Gonzalez adds a home run to a double and a walk on his card tonight, and the Dodgers are on the board for the first time here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, dangerous Adrian Gonzalez, and he took a 1-1 pitch and drove it on out of here in the looks like in the Miller Lite beer pen out there. Fastball at 2-seam. It was supposed to be down and away, left it up, and Gonzalez didn't miss it. And now it's a 2-1 ball game.
That's out there by our little friends who have their gloves on.
Yeah.
Bubbles are out for the Dodgers.
Hey, Mike Fiers last pitched on Sunday, down in the minor leagues, pitched well. 1 run, 6 innings, gave up 5 hits. Did not walk a batter, struck out 7, so it works out well. He'll be working on an extra day's rest.
Miguel Rojas, his second plate appearance. Fiers made 17 starts down in AAA. And the Brewers placing Matt Garza on the disabled list with an oblique injury. Little jam shot to short. Herrera makes the play for the first out. By the way, Rock, between innings, our little buddies up there had the gloves on.
Yeah.
You set them up with some baseballs, and Crystal was kind enough to take them out there for us. So they got a souvenir.
Yeah.
A signed Bill Schroeder baseball.
I just had to do it. It's well, you signed it too. That's not just my signature out there, but yeah, they deserve a baseball. Coming out, they got their gloves.
Just trying to take a selfie with Mom there with the baseballs. Nice going.
Yeah. Reward them.
Matt Kemp, a swing and a miss.
It's okay to reward good behavior, right?
That's right. It's very important. They're sitting there very calmly, enjoying the game, not bugging their mama too much.
No. They get a baseball.
And you get a souvenir. We wish we could hand out 40,000 of them, but we only steal 2 or 3 a game. Matt Kemp lines one to left. That's going to go to the wall. And Kemp on his way to second with a double. So the Dodgers put the tying run at second base and hitting the ball sharply in this 6th inning. Double number 200 of his career, Matt Kemp.
Yeah, pulled the hands in and hit it down the left field line on a pitch up and in. So Kemp quick enough on the inside corner to get to that Lowe's fastball.
Very chatty out at second base, talking to the Brewer middle infielders. Now Loesch having to bear down here. Carl Crawford, who singled to left his last time up. He lines one foul to right. Jumped out ahead of that pitch by Loesch.
Yeah, 2 times he's tried to come up and in, and Dodgers have hit it hard. This time Crawford hooks it foul a little bit too quick on the inside corner. Can't be able to keep his fastball fair down the left field line.
Crawford still in that long-term deal that he originally signed with the Red Sox. He signed through 2017. That was a massive contract, 7 years, $142 million. Just couldn't get healthy with Boston. Signed with the Red Sox before the 2011 season. Now his second year with the Dodgers.
Over $20 million a year. Wow.
Got some great years with the Rays. 2-1. Outside for a ball. Crawford had an elbow injury. Surgery. Keeping all these big stars healthy is the biggest challenge for Los Angeles. When they're all right and in the lineup, they're one of the dominant teams in all of baseball.
What do you think a guy like Hank Aaron would have got these days? I mean, honestly, I mean, that's an incredible amount of money. Here's Crawford sitting at 240. 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and we're sitting here in second week in August.
Could say the same thing about the Dodger manager, Don Mattingly, as well.
Right. It's mind-boggling, the salaries that you see. That guy could hit.
What a player. He was one of my favorite players as a kid.
Yeah. Terrific first baseman. Learned how to play first base down in Puerto Rico the year that I was playing in winter ball. He was an outfielder when he came up.
3-2 to Crawford. Bouncer. Tough play. Herrera cuts across. Throws him out. Nicely done. Elian Herrera. Kemp advances to third, but the Brewers able to cut down a speedy base runner in Carl Crawford.
Yeah, but Chopper, a good pitch by Loesch on the outside corner, and Herrera makes that one look easy. Elian's done a nice job in the fill-in role wherever he plays. Gets his hits. His 19th start this season at 6 different positions, infield and outfield.
And his third start at the shortstop position. Segura's been a guy that could play every day, but gets the night off tonight. A little bit of quad tightness. Figures to be back in there tomorrow. Tough to find those guys that can play all over the infield and play shortstop. That's the challenge. Herrera does it well. Here's Uribe now. Got a runner at second, or rather at third base, and he is the tying run. Uribe had a long battle with Loesch in the second inning, an 11-pitch at bat that resulted in a fly out to center. Did he go? They will ask. No, he didn't. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maldonado's trying to get in the head of first base umpire Marty Foster. He's not buying it.
Well, if you don't ask, there's no chance you're going to get a strike.
High and tight. Did that hit him? Uribe saying it did. Taking off his equipment. Joe West is now pointing him to first base. He didn't really make a strong motion that way.
Well, and again, I mean, and if you're Ron Renegade, I mean, how are you going to be able to review this? I mean, hard to tell. That's pretty close.
Right across his face.
Almost right across the lips, almost. There's a reaction that convinced Joe West. He started to grab his lips. and wasn't sure he was going to get first base. Keep looking. But that's not something that, if you're going to review, it's not going to be overturned.
So a hit batter. And now first and third with 2 outs. And here is Drew Butera, who's 0 for 2 with a couple of fly ball outs to center field.
I guess you have to go if you're a home plate umpire on a call like that, with the knee jerk, the instant reaction to the hitter. What is that? I mean, he went to his mouth saying that the ball hit me. So I guess you've got to believe it. If it takes him a while and then he starts messing around up there, then I guess maybe not. But
Butera again swinging away at the first pitch, fouls it off. So a big moment here for Loesch, trying to keep the Brewers in the lead. This figures to be Loesch's last hitter. Pitch count over 100 now. He's labored a little bit, but he's only given up 1 run on 6 Dodger hits. Ball and a strike on Butera. Pitcher spot would be due up next, and Mattingly would certainly send up a pinch hitter. Justin Turner's already there. Loesch trying to end this inning right here. Get the Brewers to the bottom of the 6th in the lead. 1-2. Crowd trying to help him out. One and two. Butera, bouncer back to the mound. Loesch has it, and the inning is over. And the Brewers still have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th. Show in town. The Clements famous racing sausages had a tight one tonight.
Photo finish.
They're swapping a little paint tonight, the Italian and the chorizo.
They gave it to the Italian.
I think chorizo went into celebration a touch too early.
Yeah,
in my humble opinion.
No, his big day's coming up.
Sunday. That's right. Bobblehead day for chorizo. Cerveceros night. By the way, we have an update from a real Major League Baseball game. That would be the Pirates and the Padres. Mark Melanson closes it out. Pittsburgh wins 2-1 over San Diego. And the Pirates, a game and a half back to start play tonight. Now 1 back. The Brewers trying to maintain their 1.5 game lead over Pittsburgh with a victory tonight. Cardinals are on their way to a loss, most likely. They're down 12-2 in the 8th inning in Baltimore. Gomez down the right field line, slicing foul. Well, right now the Cardinals and the Pirates with the Giants in the wild card picture. This could change quite a bit, but you got Washington, Milwaukee, and Los Angeles as the division leaders. Time to start watching those scoreboards as Gomez pops it foul into the net. 0-2.
Gomez fortunate right there. That ball up and in and didn't miss him by that much. Apparently getting the bat. Dangerous play right here. Check it out. Man. Trying to get his head out of the way. Look out, Gomez. That could have been bad.
0-2 count. Gomez takes one in the dirt. Check in with Sophia.
Well, before the game, we talked about Carlos Gomez's home and road splits, and he said he just feels more comfortable here at home, and part of that is all of the early work that he can get in. Said his whole career he's been a guy, he always likes to take a lot of swings, but his philosophy is interesting that when he's feeling good, he feels like he needs to hit more so he can get more tired. He says he needs to burn out that energy because he'll go to the plate and try to do too much. Says he backs it off when he's not hitting well. Says if I'm not hitting well, then I hit less, and the approach works for him.
Interesting concept there. I can understand that philosophy because he does bring a lot of energy every day.
And it's amazing he still feels that way in August. I can understand, April, May, June. And everybody else starting to get tired, and Carlos Gomez has to swing himself out of feeling too good. It doesn't happen very often. Second week in August.
Gerardo Parra shows bunt, takes a strike.
Last couple of times he's come out for early work with Johnny Nair, and he's hit a home run. On the field, anyway.
He does come out for early work quite a bit. Well, 0 for 3 tonight is Gomez. There's the hitting coach. Parra out to left center. Yasiel Puig makes the play for out number 2. Well, Rockets promised earlier in the broadcast we finally have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Don't forget to use the hashtag WisFanPhoto. Comes to us from Paula. I'm not sure which one of those dudes is Paula.
I think Paula took the picture.
All right, I'll go for that.
At least we hope.
It's all brought to you by AT&T. It's like a boy named Sue, right?
He was a little bit irritated that didn't pop up earlier.
What do you mean? Earlier in the broadcast?
Yeah, you said finally.
Oh, no, I just that we had so many to choose from. It takes a while. Braun bounces to third. Nice play, Uribe, and the inning is over. And Hernandez is rolling along, but he trails 2-1. Those 2 first-inning runs still stand up at this point. Our Carsoup.com trivia. Which pitcher led the Brewers in appearances in '88 and '89? And that would be Chuck Krim. Had 70 games in '88, 76 in '89, and there
Chuck.
he is down on the Dodger bullpen.
Bullpen coach. Well, you talk about a guy that could eat up some innings. I mean, he would come into games and pitch maybe 2, maybe 3 innings out of the bullpen. That was back in the days when you had 5 relievers in your bullpen.
Los came out to warm up, trying to get Don Mattingly to announce a pinch hitter, which he has done, and now Renicky will make the change he wants. So he's going to go with Rob Wooten, and we'll take a break for a pitching change. Are out after 6 innings apiece. Loesch goes 6 innings with 1 earned run, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, and as of right now, in line for the win. He will exit with 105 pitches.
Well, the Dodgers left 7 stranded tonight while Loesch was in the ball game and made his pitches when he needed them with men on base. Dodgers 0 for 4 as Rob Wooten continues here tonight for the Brewers. 39th appearance for Wooten, a 1-4 record. You can see that earned run average 4.32.
So Justin Turner was announced as the pinch hitter. He will remain, and he has been very good in this role for Don Mattingly. Dodgers down a run. Turner hits for Hernandez. A .421 hitter is Turner. Off the bench this year, has 6 runs batted in.
The Brewers are probably glad that Hernandez is getting pinch hit for. How about his night? Amazing.
Gave up 2 runs in the first inning. As Turner lines one into right center. Boy, this guy is swinging the bat. Hitting over 300 this year. And another pinch hit base hit. He's 9 for 20 now off the bench, and it's a leadoff single here. Top of the order coming up.
And now Ron Rennie's going back out to the mound and wants a left-hander, I would imagine.
So Renicky is going to play matchup. Wooten is out, 1 batter faced. Another pitching change.
In the lips, then it was the nose.
I'm guessing he did actually get hit by that pitch.
Yeah.
Unless he's still selling it really well.
Well, he doesn't have to at this point. It's legit.
Well, we got another pitching change here. So Wooten came on to face Turner, the right-handed batter. He singles. Now Zach Duke is on to face D. Gordon.
It's been a while for Zach. I think he's needed the rest. He last pitched on Sunday at St. Louis. Gave up a couple of runs in a third of an inning. Allowed a solo home run to Matt Holliday. 60 punch-outs in 44 in the third innings for Zach Duke. He's got 2 lefties and a right-hander, Puig, in between Gordon and Gonzalez.
Dangerous spot here. See the Marshfield Clinic leaders in relief. Zach Duke. Strikeouts per 9 this year, and you wouldn't figure it from a guy like Duke. He's not an overpowering pitcher with stuff. Doesn't have that big fastball, but a little quirky in his release. Tough on lefties. Gordon with a runner at first. The tying run shows bunt, takes a strike. Dodgers with the best record in the National League, 16 games over 500. The Brewers are 11 over. First of 3 here this weekend. And then the Brewers are going to see the Dodgers immediately next week. They go to Los Angeles next weekend. After 4 in Chicago against the Cubs, 3 with Los Angeles. Shows bunt, bunts through it, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, good slider going away from D. Gordon. You know, that arm angle, you figured it's going to be tough for Gordon to be able to square around and drop down a bunt. Very surprised, though, that the Dodgers are dropping down a bunt. They usually play for the lead on the road. You normally don't play for the tie. Home team does that normally.
One and two. Zach Duke delivers, and a foul back to the screen. Trying to sneak a fastball by him. Baltimore has closed out St. Louis tonight. 12-2 the final score. Orioles beat the Cardinals in Baltimore. Pirates beat the Padres tonight. Well, the Brewers trying to hang on, win this one, remain a game and a half up on Pittsburgh, 2 games up on St. Louis with a victory tonight for Milwaukee. The Pirates have leapfrogged the Cardinals in the very tight National League Central. Figures to be that way for a while. But through it all, the Brewers have been able to maintain their first place spot.
Yeah, doing a good job hanging in there is D. Gordon. That was a tough pitch. And a lot of pitches away on the outside corner. Duke tried to come in on him and just able to get a piece of it. That was a changeup, actually.
Foul tip off the
Finger.
hand. Wow, right inside the thumb.
Yep, thumb and index finger. How about a changeup to a left-handed batter? You don't see many lefties do that.
Another 1-2 and a bouncer to third. Ramirez goes to second, out there, throw first, not in time. Good try, too much speed in D. Gordon.
That's a good trade for the Dodgers, though. They'd much rather have Turner at first base than D. Gordon because you figure Gordon's going to try and steal a base. I think Ramirez right from the beginning knew that they didn't have much of a chance for a double play. They just want to make sure of one.
Gordon's only grounded into 2 double plays all season. And now he's a threat to steal a base. Last time looked like he had a great jump, but Puig swung at the first pitch, popped it up, and it ended up as a double play to end the inning. Gordon got lost on the bases. Gordon took off, didn't see where the ball was, and was very slow to react. And by the time Overbay made the catch in foul territory, it was an easy double play with Loesch covering.
I don't think he was looking in, and I think Scooter deked him a little bit, just enough to keep him from getting back to first base.
Now, Puig has the kind of power that could put the Dodgers on top quickly. He is 0 for 3 tonight. A leadoff single by Turner. Now Gordon at first on the fielder's choice. And that skips away from Maldonado. Oh, that one hurts.
Yeah, that's a big base right there.
So Gordon.
Now Gordon doesn't have to worry about stealing a base. He's in scoring position for Puig and then Gonzalez. Down and away, a fastball, and Maldonado not able to handle it. That doesn't happen very often. Brewers have been very good blocking pitches in the dirt.
You got to watch Gordon stealing third base. He'll do that on occasion.
It'd be tough for him to get a jump given where Scooter Jeanette's playing. Right behind second base.
Dangerous hitter at the plate. All-star Yasiel Puig, and a big hack. 2-1. He let it loose. Tailing fastball by Zach Duke.
And went right after him, didn't he, on a 2-0 pitch. Not messing around, realized he didn't want to walk him.
Throws the bat at it. And no, it broke.
It broke.
Oh my goodness. That bat had to be broken before that, right?
Either that or he's really strong. Fastball. Puig tries to check his swing and actually breaks his bat as he checks his swing and never made contact with the baseball.
That is incredible. He's trying to check it.
No, but you're right. There had to be something wrong with that bat. That just doesn't happen.
Only adding to the myth of Yasiel Puig. I've never seen that before.
Add that to the list of things you've never seen before this year.
It has been one. Maldonado knocked the cover off the ball in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Yasiel Puig breaks his bat on a check swing.
Without making contact. Man.
All right, so 2-2 the count. Tying run at second base. Maldonado wants one upstairs, it looks like. And a breaking ball miss. Maybe he was trying to deke Puig a little.
Yeah, hitters can sense when the catcher's moving around, and your peripheral vision sometimes to try and see if the catcher's trying to, setting up outside or inside. And sometimes to try and throw him off. Not often.
Full count. Got Adrian Gonzalez on deck. Tying run at second. Gordon, the payoff, and Puig takes ball 4. And now the Brewers are stepping into the deep waters with first and second. And the very dangerous Gonzalez, who has not been retired here tonight.
And the RBI man for the Dodgers. Now in the 6th inning, he took a Kyle Lowe's fastball middle away and knocked it out of here into the Miller Lite beer pen. The only run for the Dodgers so far. And nowhere to put him. You got to throw on strikes.
Well, it's a matchup the Brewers won. Adrian Gonzalez hitting just 167 against left-handed pitching. Duke would love a ground ball here. Falls behind him. Gonzalez almost hit one out in the first. Had a double off the fence in left. He's walked and then he homered. Two and 0. Gonzalez has good numbers against Zach Duke in his career. He's 5 for 11. But those numbers accumulated with a very different Zach Duke on the mound back in his starting pitcher days when he threw over the top.
And any advantage that Duke would have against Gonzalez right now is gone. He's down 2-0 in the count. Adrian Gonzalez knows he has to come in with something down the middle of the plate.
And he missed. And it's 3-0. Well, Gonzalez will certainly have the green light here if he gets one he likes. Has a homer and a double career against Duke. Two on, one out. That one's in there. Now a big pitch. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, good slider. Well, Gonzalez pulled his head trying to hit that one out of the ballpark, and good late movement by Duke. Well, he's got the count to full after falling behind 3-0.
Well, perfect pitch. Takes a lot of guts. Throw that slider in that count. See what he has in mind here. Full count. One gone in the inning. Dodgers threaten in a big way. 3-2 on the way, and it's fouled back. An emergency swing for Gonzalez on a high fastball. Got him shaking his head a little bit.
Yeah. Knows he had a pitch to hit. It was a fastball up in the zone. Duke trying to get a ground ball to get out of this mess.
Maldonado going through the signs. Duke's got the one he wants. Here it comes, and a swing and a line drive to right. That's going to tie it up. Puig is on his way to third, and he'll make it. Adrian Gonzalez with a 2-strike RBI single, and we're all even at 2 apiece.
Yep, hung a slider on the 3-2 pitch, the second up one of them. Now let's see what Duke tries to do to him. You know he's trying to get him out with a slider. He falls behind 3-0, a couple of sliders and a fastball, and then challenges him on a 3-0 pitch and takes it right down the middle, then goes with a slider. A fastball and a 3-2 pitch again that Gonzalez fouls back, and then the hanger middle in, and Gonzalez hits it hard into right field.
And more bullpen troubles for the Brewers. This has been a tough run. Renicky trying to find someone with an answer out there. It'll be Jeffress up next. has done the damage. He homered in the 6th. RBI single with 2 strikes here in the 7th. And we're all even at 2 now. Jeremy Jeffress is on the mound. 1 man out, runners at 1st and 3rd. And you see the numbers for Jeffress, his 9th appearance for the Brewers this season.
Yeah, it looked good in yesterday's ball game, and the Brewers 3-1 victory over the Giants. 1 inning, struck out a couple of batters and stranded an inherited base runner. He pitched in the 7th inning. Coming in a tough spot, 1 out, a couple of men on, and a pinch hitter to face, a left-hander.
So Andre Ethier announced as the pinch hitter. There's the go-ahead run at 3rd base in Puig. And Gonzalez over at 1st after the RBI. Ethier's been kind of the odd man out in this Dodgers outfield. Having a down year, just a .245 hitter this season. Jeffress with that big fastball.
Yeah, he was pumping it in there pretty good yesterday against San Francisco. 96 to 98 miles an hour.
Ethier pinch hitting for Miguel Rojas, who entered the game after Hanley Ramirez was injured in his first at bat. There's a strike, 1-1 to count. Brewers scored twice in the 1st on 3 consecutive hits, and that's all they've been able to muster tonight against Hernandez, who is out of the game, pinch hit for. Bouncing ball, Herrera lays out, and no play anywhere, and the Dodgers are going to take the lead. Puig scores on an infield hit, and it's 3-2 Los Angeles.
Man, not much you can do about that. Ethier able to make contact. He fought it off. Jeffress was able to get in on his hands and just kind of muscles it out there into the hole, and Herrera very wisely holds on to it.
2 runs in for the Dodgers, still just 1 out, and here's Matt Kemp. Kemp doubled his last time up, ripped one down the left field line. Kyle Loesch 6 innings tonight, 1 earned run, and will not factor in the decision. Right now Zach Duke on the hook for the loss. Had 3 hits and a walk in this inning. Well, the Brewers are going to have to find some answers in their bullpen if they're going to win this division, and they know that.
And they got 8 guys down there. There's plenty of arms. Need somebody to get hot. It's been very difficult for Ron Renneke to get to Francisco Rodriguez lately.
Kemp lines one, caught by Herrera, shovel to second, in time! What a great play, Eliot Herrera. Doubling off Adrian Gonzalez. That could be a game saver right there. On a bullet by Matt Kemp. Herrera lays out, quick flip. Gonzalez is out. And we'll see if Mattingly's going to challenge this. It's going to be close. And looks like he's out. And so Mattingly, he's going through his lineup. He has conceded the out. He will not challenge. And we will take a break. 3-2. Dodgers now lead it. Brewers coming up. after scoring 2 runs in the top of the 7th inning. RBIs from Gonzalez and Andre Ethier. Justin Turner, who started the inning with a pinch hit single, he will stay in to play short. It's the 3rd shortstop the Dodgers have used tonight, and the new pitcher in his 19th year in the big leagues, 39-year-old Jamie Wright.
Yeah, former Brewer. He was with the Milwaukee Brewers from 2000 to 2002. Some lean years for the crew. A .327 earned run average. 19 years for Jamie Wright.
How about that?
Wow.
He's had a good year this year. 3.27 ERA. Ramos Ramirez at the plate, presented by Wendy's. Had an RBI single in the 1st. Now the Brewers have gone silent with the bat since the 1st inning. Since Ramirez's RBI single in the 1st, which came with 1 out, the Brewers have not had a base runner.
So I guess the Brewers offense very glad to see Hernandez out of the ball game. To say the least, he was tough.
And Ramirez, and it's caught by Turner. Line drive out just into the game at short, and Justin Turner makes the play to take a hit away from Ramos.
Yeah, he's making an impact already, isn't he? A base hit to get the inning going, and now a great play at short. So both shortstops in the game making nice plays on line drives.
1 away for Wright. Well, Turner has been quite a story off the bench for the Dodgers this year. It looks like we're going to have a pitching change here. Mattingly on his way out. You got Scooter Gennett, the lefty, coming up. Overbay, a lefty, on deck. And Mattingly will go to his bullpen. We'll take a timeout. We'll set him up. Dodgers lead 3-2. (3-2) Los Angeles here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Now, a reminder, you can catch every strikeout, every game ender, every history-making moment on MLB Whip Around. Weeknights at 9 Central on Fox Sports 1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So Mattingly goes with the left-hander J.P. Howell. And Renicky counters with Ricky Weeks for Gennett.
Yeah, the only left-hander down in that Dodgers bullpen. Howell having a terrific season, a 1.16 earned run average, and game number 53 here tonight. Yeah, Howell has not allowed a run in his last 17 appearances. So he has been throwing the baseball well.
Ricky Weeks will bat. Brewers down a run now. They led 2-0 in the 1st inning. Roberto Hernandez retires 17 straight to finish his night. He is in line for the win now. Checks his swing, does Weeks. Well, the Dodgers bullpen has had their lumps as well. They've got a very good closer in Kenley Jansen. But getting to Jansen has been a struggle at times this year, especially early in the season.
Right. Well, a lot of teams can say that. But as good as the Dodgers have been this year, particularly on the road, bullpen's been a little bit better as of late, getting to their closer.
Well, Mattingly's club with 2 runs in the 7th to take the lead as Weeks takes a strike. 2-1.
And not a hard thrower is Hal, is he? Keeps the ball down. He sinks it. Tries to keep it off the outside corner to these right-handed batters.
Three and one. J.P. Howell has not allowed a home run this season. 38 2/3 innings this year.
He's got 19 walks though, so you be patient with him. You make him throw strikes. You might be able to get to him.
3-1. Ricky Weeks takes ball 4.
There you go.
And there's the tying run on base. So Renicky goes with the pinch hitter. It pays off. And a man is on. And now Renicky will call on his bench once again. Mark Reynolds will hit for Lyle Overbay.
And you might see Don Mattingly make his way out to the mound once again. Yeah, Reynolds and Maldonado. Remember, the Brewers do not have a left-hander on their bench tonight. They're all in the starting lineup. Left-handed hitter, that is.
And it will be Reynolds announced as the pinch hitter. We'll see if Mattingly counters. Reynolds is atop the Powerball home run leaderboard with 19. We'd love to hit number 20 right here. That would give the Brewers the lead. And now Mattingly is on his way out to make a pitching change. Plowing through the bullpens, both managers here in the 7th inning. And this game has come to a standstill. We'll set up the new pitcher after this. League will enter the game a former closer with the Mariners. He'll take over his 45th appearance of the season. The Brewers have the tying run on with 1 out, and Mark Reynolds, the announced hitter.
And he gets a lot of ground ball double plays. 11 so far this year. Has not allowed a home run. In 47 2/3 innings this year, that's the most by any pitcher in the National League. 47+ innings without allowing a homer. In game number 45, last pitched on Wednesday against the Angels.
Found a home here in Los Angeles. At 37 saves one year with the Mariners back in 2011. And part of that late inning relief corps. So it's league against Reynolds, who is 1 for 8 as a pinch hitter this season. That one hit was a home run. Brewers are down 3-2. Weeks at first. Reynolds will bat. Maldonado to follow. Fastball strike. Reynolds with 19 homers, 40 driven in. Hitting just .206, but he does take his walks, and that's why his on-base percentage is just shy of 300 to .298.
And Brewers bench getting a bit thin. You've got Lucroy, Segura, Davis left. There's some pretty good sticks, but you wonder if they're how available they are. Not sure how much Renicky wants to use them tonight.
Still got a long way to go here. We're only in the bottom of the 7th inning. Renicky had to use 3 pitchers to get through the 7th. Reynolds back up the middle, and it's misplayed by Turner. Weeks on his way to third, and the throw comes in, and it is late. No real call by the third base umpire. I'm assuming he's safe.
Yeah, he's safe. I think Uribe gave up on the play. He just kind of smothered the baseball and made sure that Reynolds wasn't going to advance to second base. So you get your third shortstop of the night. It should have been a double play. I mean, he might get an error on that, but we'll see how they score it. But you check out Uribe, never made a tag.
Wow. Now Turner made a great play to start this inning on Ramirez. That one was set up to turn 2, but he misplays it, and now the Brewers with a huge opportunity to at least tie this game with an out. Still only 1 out. That's going to go as a base hit for Reynolds, by the way. Did take a tough hop in Turner's defense. That ball came up on him. Here's Maldonado.
Yeah, third on the depth chart at shortstop, and it all goes back to Ramirez having to leave the game in the first inning. Second inning.
Tying run at third, 1 out. And Maldonado bunts, and here comes Weeks. Weeks flips it, and Weeks is safe. All tied at 3 on a safety squeeze by Martin Maldonado. Everybody safe.
Well, good job by Ricky identifying where that bunt was. Ricky sliding in head first. Yeah, good flip, man. Anytime you try and flip it with the glove, it's a crapshoot. You don't know where it's going to end up. Sticks in the webbing and goes straight up. So Ricky Weeks able to score on the bunt. Credit Maldonado with a sacrifice and an RBI.
Well, he's one of the best bunters on the team. That one came out of nowhere. A bit of a surprise. Weeks got a bit of a late break as well. But he scores. It all works out. Still just 1 out. First and second for the Crew. And a base hit could put the Brewers on top. Reynolds, the potential go-ahead run as Herrera slaps one foul. Well, you know, Elian Herrera would love to come up big here against his old team.
And they're playing very shallow in the outfield for Herrera. Puig and Crawford very shallow in left and center. Kemp pretty much average depth out in right field.
Best arm out there is in center field with Puig. 0-2 to Herrera. Shining moment brought to you by Marshfield Clinic. How about this play by Herrera defensively, helping the Brewers get out of a mess in the 7th. Doubling off Gonzalez. And keeping the game at a 3-2 Dodger lead at the time. Now the Brewers have tied it up, looking for more. 0-2, and Herrera into center field. Puig is there, and out number 2. Runners stay put. And now Renicky is going to go back to his bench. His 3rd pinch hitter of the inning, Chris Davis, will bat.
And this all started with a 1-out walk by Ricky Weeks. We're talking about how he'll walk you. And Lee got a ground ball. Should have probably ended the inning on a double play, but Turner couldn't handle it, and the Brewers in a position to take the lead.
Well, another trip to the mound. Rick Honeycutt, the pitching coach. Maybe a little scouting report here.
Yeah,
on Chris Davis.
The Dodgers haven't seen much of Davis, if any. They have got the video, they've got the spreadsheets, but this one Rick Honeycutt wants to make sure that the league knows all about it. Big hitter right here for Milwaukee.
Well, the Brewers have been able to tie it up on a safety squeeze by the backup catcher Maldonado. He's at first. Reynolds at second. And now Chris Davis off the bench. 3rd pinch hitter of the inning. A lot of bullpen and a lot of bench here in the 7th inning for both teams. And Davis takes a ball down and out. On a night when the Pirates win, beating the Padres, the Cardinals lost to the Orioles, and the Marlins beat the Reds. Brewers trying to remain a game and a half up on Pittsburgh in the National League Central with a win here tonight. Davis back up the middle. Turner is over. Gloves it. Bobbles. And everybody's safe. My goodness. After a great play, taking a hit away from Ramirez to start this inning, Turner having all kind of trouble now.
Yeah, it really should have been 2 errors for Turner in this inning. This inning should have been over a long time ago on a double play ball. That one right off the heel of the glove. Reynolds stays put at 3rd, so the bases are loaded now for Gomez.
Top of the order coming up. That'll be an E6. And Gomez, who is 0 for 3 tonight, trying to put the Brewers back on top. He loves the first pitch. And Gomez takes one inside, almost hit him. Not even Gomez will offer it a pitch like that at his knees. One and one.
He's got that good sinking fastball as it comes into home plate, just drops off the table, and that's why he gets all those ground ball outs. You really have to concentrate to get him up in the strike zone, just like you did with Hernandez.
One ball, one strike on Gomez. Bases loaded, 2 outs. 1 and 2 it goes, and Gomez falls down after a mighty hack. Usually he just swings out of his helmet.
Another pitch out of the strike zone. Should be 3-0.
Instead, it's 1 and 2. See what League has in mind here. Another one in on his hands. A little breaking ball from League. I'm not sure that's where he wanted to put it. But Gomez able to foul it off. 1-2 the count. Costly error has opened the door. And Gomez fouls it off. Just got a piece to keep the count of the ball in 2 strikes. He's the best the Brewers have with runners in scoring position, and he is among league leaders in that category this year as well at 337. Gomez chopping it short. Turner coming in, throw to first, and it's mishandled at first, and a run scores. Throw in the dirt, pops in and out of the glove of Gonzalez.
Well, Turner's getting exposed at shortstop in this inning. Goodness gracious.
The Brewers have the lead 4-3.
That'll be another error on Turner. And he gets to it, knows he has to be quick, and puts it in the dirt. Gonzalez couldn't handle it. And good speed by Gogo and forces the issue, and the Brewers take the lead. Brewers really haven't had a clean hit in this inning. 2 errors on the shortstop. Or at least we think it's going to be an error.
2 runs are in. And here is Gerardo Parra now. Base is still loaded. Second error of the inning on Turner, just posted as Parra takes a ball. Brewers have scored 2 runs, and the ball has hardly left the infield.
Right.
Parra, hot one over to first. That is foul.
What a play by Gonzalez. Wow.
Gonzalez.
That might have cleared the bases had that ball got down the line. What a play, though, in foul territory.
Called foul quickly by Marty Foster. Gonzalez had no way of knowing that and makes an impressive play. And it would have been an out. Instead, it's a foul ball. And Parra will get another swing at Brandon Lee. Dodgers looking like a team that arrived at 6:30 this morning defensively in this inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Parra in the center field. Puig coming in. Can't get it. A base hit. Maldonado's in. Davis slides. He's safe. Throw to third. And Gomez is out. The inning is over, but the Brewers strike in a big way. Gerardo Parra drives in 2 more, and it's 6-3 Milwaukee. Getting a couple of errors by Justin Turner. Gerardo Parra with a base hit to drive in 2 Badger Mutual Insurance runs of the game. And the final out on Carlos Gomez. Big hit by Gerardo Parra. 2 RBI single. Thought for a moment there Butera had a chance at an out, but that throw was a little bit short and up the line. And Parra fired up. He's had a big homestand here for the Brewers. Hit a decisive home run against the Giants on Tuesday night and adds to the lead with a single and 2 RBIs, making it 6-3 Milwaukee. That final putout, by the way, goes 8-2-5. Ricky Weeks will remain in the game. A pinch hit appearance, drew a walk in the bottom of that inning. Reynolds stays in as well, who had a base hit single. And the new pitcher, Rocky, is going to be Will Smith.
Yeah, 3rd pitcher out of that bullpen for Ron Renneke. Actually, the 4th pitcher out of the bullpen for Ron Renneke. Will Smith making appearance number 60 with that .358 earned run average. Got the 67 strikeouts in 50 1/3 innings. And Will pitched yesterday against the Giants, a 1/3 of an inning, stranded an inherited base runner in the 8th inning.
Smith will face Carl Crawford, Juan Uribe, then Drew Butera.
Interesting 7th inning here at the Miller Park, huh? How many pitchers, how many pinch hitters? Amazing.
Well, you have to, technically Loesch came out and warmed up and then was replaced prior to the top of the 7th. And then Renneke used 3 relievers in the 7th inning. Don Mattingly uses 3 relievers in the bottom of the 7th. And then you had Ethier and Turner as pinch hitters in the top of the 7th. The Brewers used 3 pinch hitters in their half. So you got 6 out of the bullpen and 4 position players that make it 5 position players off the bench in that 7th inning.
Yeah.
And a messy scorecard. Half swing, he goes, says Joe West. Doesn't need any help to call that one 1-2 the count.
That inning, that 7th inning took as long as about 4 innings early in the game, as far as time wise.
A ball and 2 strikes. And he got him, gets away from Maldonado, got to hurry it to first. And the throw, and it's scooped by Reynolds for the out. What a play by Mark Reynolds, with a base runner coming right down on him. Reynolds able to pick that one for the out. Wow.
And it's a heck of a play by Reynolds. We've seen him make some great plays like that. That's a tough hop, too. You see him taking his stretch at foul territory, giving Maldonado a lane with which to throw. And a tough pick and able to keep the foot on the bag. Nice.
That was something special right there. Mark Reynolds, whose defense has been very impressive this year, secures the strikeout for Smith on Crawford. And here is Uribe, and a bouncer to Reynolds. Much easier chance this time. Nicely done. 2 up and 2 down for Will Smith.
Hey, go to Brewers.com/We Energies to cast your vote for the We Energies High Energy Player of the Year. You'll be entered to win tickets, a luxury suite, and a signed jersey from the winning player. Vote today.
2 quick outs for Will Smith. Now, it all started for the Dodgers when Hanley Ramirez had to come out of the game prior to the bottom of the 1st inning. He was originally in there as a cleanup hitter, playing shortstop. He did draw a walk in the 1st, but injured his side. And then that started the wheels in motion. Miguel Rojas came in to play shortstop. And then Don Mattingly wanted a better bat at the plate, trying to break a 2-2 tie. He brought in Andre Ethier to hit. So that forced Mattingly to have to use Turner at short. Short fly ball to center. Gomez puts it away, and Will Smith locks it down quickly in the 8th. A 1-2-3 inning.
inning we go. We're getting set for Brewers Live postgame. And how about Gerardo Parra coming through again for Milwaukee on this homestand? Second time he has put them up safely.
You know, for the second half of the season, the two areas that this team has to get better is one, defense, and the secondly is bench strength. You take Parra, Gold Glove in the outfield. What about the hits he's come up for the Brewers already in a short time with us?
Yeah, had the go-ahead home run earlier on this homestand against the Giants and came through with the big hit in the 7th inning as well. Put the Brewers up 6-3. We'll catch up with Ron Renicky, the clubhouse, and break this game down. All-important series between the top two teams in the National League coming up on Brewers Live. Brian?
All right, thanks a lot, Craig and Augie. Looking forward to Brewers Live postgame as Gerardo Parra is having a nice little homestand here to introduce himself to the home fans. Carlos Frias is on the mound for Los Angeles in a 6-3 Brewers lead, bottom 8.
Yeah, made his major league debut on Monday night after being called up from Albuquerque earlier that day. Tossed 2 scoreless innings while striking out a couple of batters. It was 10-5 down in the minor leagues. 21 combined games between AA and AAA for the Dodgers farm system.
It'll be Ryan Braun to lead off. Brewers brought 8 batters to the plate in the 7th inning. 2 errors by Justin Turner at short after he made a sparkling play on Ramirez to start the inning. There's a key walk in there. Ricky Weeks drew a walk and a pinch hit appearance. Parra with 2 RBIs. Maldonado had a bunt on a safety squeeze for an RBI as well.
Been the story of 2 innings for the Brewers, right? The 1st and the 7th, and not a base runner in between. Taking advantage of their chances.
Yeah, Dodger pitching had combined to retire 18 in a row between the 1st and the 7th. 17 of those belong to Roberto Hernandez, who pitched very well for the Dodgers in his first start after being traded from Philadelphia yesterday. You won't hear players talk about it. You certainly won't hear the manager talk about it. But important for the Brewers to hang on and win this game tonight. They've got to deal with Zach Greinke and Clayton Kershaw the next 2 nights. You never know what could happen. The Brewers have had a lot of success against some of the best pitchers in the league, but those are 2 tough customers. As Braun draws an opening walk here to start the 8th.
Hey, you never know what can happen. I mean, very unpredictable, this Brewers offense, as Zach Greinke takes the mound for the Dodgers tomorrow. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap, and Mike Fiers making his first start for the Brew Crew. Greinke having a nice season as usual, a .271 earned run average and a 12-7 record. The Dodgers actually have 3 different starting pitchers that have double-digit wins so far this year. Clayton Kershaw might be the best pitcher in baseball.
And they will face 4 former Cy Young Award winners on this homestand. Lincecum, Jake Peavy, and Greinke and Kershaw. They've won the first 2 matchups. Lincecum did not suffer the loss, but the Brewers won that game that he started. They beat Peavy yesterday.
Can't see these 2 guys, you know, Greinke and Kershaw, being any more effective than Hernandez was tonight.
Right.
You don't have to be a Cy Young Award winner to be tough, and he has been tough on the Brewers in 2 starts here at Miller Park.
Now the Brewers have had some success against some of the game's best pitchers, including wins over Adam Wainwright and David Price. They've beaten Jeff Samardzija twice. They've beaten Steven Strasburg twice. Tyson Ross, an all-star with the Padres. Brewers hung a loss on him earlier in the season as well. 0-2. Ramirez, a base hit right field. Aramis Ramirez on an 0-2 pitch just serves one to the opposite field.
He's been doing that much more lately. He rolled with it to right field on the ground in last night's game, or yesterday's game, and there's a cut fastball from the right-hander for the Dodgers, and he hits it hard into right field. Carlos Frias.
And now 2 on for Ricky Weeks. Weeks started the madness for the Brewers in the 7th, a pinch hit walk. Dodgers got 2 in the top of the 7th to take a 3-2 lead, and the Brewers scored 4 in the bottom of the 7th. K-Rod preparing for a potential save opportunity tonight.
And Ricky knock one out of here and not have to use them.
There's a strike with a fastball at 95. All 3 of the runs, by the way, that scored against League unearned. He's on the hook for the loss. Jeremy Jeffress in line for the win. Weeks part of that second base platoon with Scooter Gennett. Entered the game to face a lefty, J.P. Howell. Weeks ended up drawing the walk on League last inning. Three pinch hitters used in the 7th.
And all got the job done, right?
All got on base. Weeks walked, Reynolds singled, and then the error by Turner allowed Davis to reach. Davis would end up scoring a run. 2-2 now to Ricky Weeks. Well, got a good start to the inning. The Brewers trying to keep it rolling here. A walk and a single. Braun and Ramirez. And now Butera on his way out. Might be wanting to change the signs here. Needs a translator, so Adrian Gonzalez provides that service. Drew says you really need to throw a strike and get this guy out. See. And then Adrian says to Drew, Carlos says okay.
Yeah. Didn't take long.
No, it's easy.
Everybody's on the same page.
I'm sure it was more than that. Weeks into left center. Way back and goodbye. Ricky Weeks. A 3-run home run. And the Brewers busted wide open tonight. 9-3 Milwaukee.
Now you can sit down. K-Rod. Well, they got a hanging cutter. Well, we asked for the home run and we got it. I don't think that's what Butera went out and was talking to Frias about. Didn't want to leave it right there. I mean, that was a hanger. And Ricky Weeks knocked it out of here for a 3-run shot, giving the Brewers a big pad as they enter the 9th inning.
Well, that was out of here in a flash. Swung out of his helmet. Ricky Weeks, his first home run since June 26th. Hit a leadoff home run that day against Colorado. Well, that's a big blast for the Brewers.
A good day at the office for Ricky. A walk, a home run, 3 RBIs, and a couple of runs scored. And he's only played 2 innings.
Brewers have scored 7 runs the last 2 innings. Not only could they not buy a hit from the 2nd through the 7th, they could not buy a base runner through those innings. Some shoddy Dodger defense opened the door in a big way, and the Brewers are cashing in as Reynolds skies one to Matt Kemp, out number 1. Now a reminder, right now on FoxSportsWisconsin.com, Andrew Grumman takes a look at Jimmy Nelson, who has pitched well for the Brewers since being called up, including his last 3 starts, and is scheduled to face the Dodgers' Clayton Kershaw in his next 2 starts, as the Brewers will see the Dodgers in Los Angeles next weekend, next Friday, as Brandon Kinsler begins to get loose in the bullpen. Now Maldonado with a safety squeeze bunt in an RBI in the 7th inning to tie it up.
Well, he seems to do something offensively to contribute. Well, that game he had in Tampa Bay against the Rays, David Price, 4 RBIs. He's in there, puts together some pretty good at bats, and today bunting in the tying run.
Oh, 0-2 to Maldonado. Popped him up. And Kemp will call and catch for out number 2. Then he falls down. And the ball pops out of D. Gordon. That's okay. It's still an out. Two outs in the inning. And it'll be Elian Herrera. Now with 3 more defensive outs, the Brewers will be a game and a half up on the Pirates after play tonight. The Pirates leapfrog the Cardinals. Pittsburgh beat San Diego. St. Louis lost on the road in Baltimore. Reds lost as well, 2-1 to the Marlins. That'll drop Cincinnati 5 games back of the Brewers if they finish this one off.
All right, don't count them out yet. They are dealing with some major injuries, but hanging in there.
Brandon Phillips, Joey Votto out. Herrera bounces to short. Turner, and he makes a play to end the inning. But the Brewers get a big swing from Ricky Weeks. 3-run home run, and it's a 9-3 Milwaukee lead as we go to the ninth. 9-3 ball game. It was played very well, very tight. Pitchers duo going into the 7th. But the Brewers scoring 7 runs in the last 2 innings. And some shoddy Dodgers defense opened up the frame in the 7th, and then the Brewers got a 3-run homer from Ricky Weeks in the 8th inning. So it's 9-3. Kinsler on to try to finish it off.
Yeah, in hopes that K-Rod doesn't have to be used here tonight. Looking for Brandon Kinsler get the final 3 outs. 43rd appearance for Brandon. Last pitched on Wednesday against the Giants. Gave up a couple of runs in 2/3 of an inning. Looking to get 3 outs. You got Turner. He's in the 9th spot and in the top of the Dodgers order.
Back at it tomorrow night. Don't forget the Brewers and Dodgers. 5:30 is airtime. Greinke and Fires. Brewers are going to have to make a player move after the game tonight, so stay tuned to Brewers Live for that. Needing to activate Fires on the active roster, and Craig and Augie will have the latest from the Brewers clubhouse. Brewers trying to snap a couple of streaks for the Dodgers. They've won 3 in a row overall, and they've won 5 straight road games. Well, Turner's been a big bat for the Dodgers this year, and actually got a rally started for Los Angeles in the 7th. But his glove has been the problem. Good play, Herrera. He's had a couple of them tonight.
Nice play. Coming in full speed, able to make the transfer and get a good strong throw to first base. Nice pick and a good throw.
Well, Herrera has had an impact glove tonight, starting for Gene Segura. It's been 2 plays in this game for the Dodgers at the plate that have been pivotal. Double plays, not the conventional kind. This one was on Puig in a pop foul. D. Gordon took off of the pitch. He got caught at first base, and then this great play by Elian Herrera to double off Adrian Gonzalez. That, to me, could have been the play of the game defensively for the Brewers.
Yep.
Because the Dodgers had already scored twice. They had 2 on and 1 out, threatening for more. Ramirez for the 2nd out.
The Brewers defense continues to be very good on his homestand. Have played errorless baseball.
Reynolds made a great play, securing a strikeout last inning on a short hop throw for Maldonado. And the Brewers are an out away from securing a series opening victory against the first place Dodgers. And to make it 3 out of 4 on the homestand thus far. 37,000 plus on their feet trying to finish this one off. The Giants lost tonight, by the way. The Royals beat them 4-2. They beat Madison Bumgarner, keeping Bumgarner at 13 wins. His 9th loss of the year. So the Dodgers lead in the National League West will be trimmed by a game, or actually will stay the same. It'll be at 3.5. Two and nothing on Puig. Right back to Kinsler. A 1-2-3 inning, and the Brewers win. A comeback win tonight. 4 runs for the Brewers in the bottom of the 7th. 3 more in the bottom of the 8th, and a 9-3 victory makes a winner out of Jeremy Jeffress, who picks up his first win of the season. And his first win since 2012. Brandon League takes the loss. And a final of 9-3. Time for Brewers Live. A lot of news coming up after the game, you would think. We check in with Craig Kashawn and Jerry Augustine, guys.
Boy, no doubt about that. Be a good win for Milwaukee. Lots to talk about late in this one on a positive note. That's a very good sign for Ron Renke's club. Plus a roster move on the way, and we'll get you set for Game 2, Greinke versus Fiers.